Hey guys, welcome back. Origami here, bringing you another one of our live deck profiles. This is one of the decks I'm most excited about, just because you guys know how much I like my fairy types. My favorite Pokemon's fairy type. And although I've never been a fan of playing either Gardevoir decks or Sylveon decks, I kind of like the way this card is designed. It doesn't, like, even though the GX attack feels broken, it's not as broken as it seems, but it's really, really strong where you can pull it off and things like that. So I do like this card a lot. So before we end the video, don't forget to drop a like, because man, you know, we're about halfway through these videos, and you and the like button have been getting along really well. I mean, the month is about halfway over by the time it's getting uploaded, and everything's just looking really nice, and I'm so happy for you guys. So hit that like button if you like the content, drop a like, subscribe, share, all that good jazz. Answer the comment question today being, I just want to know overall your general opinions about this deck, because this is one question I have, because Gardevoir Sylveon, it's really, really good, really, really powerful, but the problem is it can still be OHKO'd by the likes of, what's it called? The more powerful tag team decks, especially like Charizard, Reshiram, when it has a choice band attached and stuff like that. So let me know what you think in the comments down below, and let's just get right into the video. 4 Gardevoir Sylveons, you can probably get away with just playing 3. 4 just means you lead with it more, which is kind of nice, although you don't really care what you lead with. Outside of Xerneas Prism, you don't really care what you lead with in this deck, because most of the Pokemon have free retreat, or you're going to be attacking with this. And this card is definitely a great Pokemon to be attacking with. 260 HP tag team Pokemon. Pretty low on for the tag. I mean, not really that low, but you know, not as bulky as a 270 HP Pokemon, which is like a huge difference sometimes. But you got some pretty powerful attacks. Fairy Storm means you can put 2 energies from your deck into your bench Pokemon. 2 fairy energies, I should say. And I don't think it has to be 2 fairy Pokemon, yeah. To any bench Pokemon. So it's really, really nice in its own right. Really strong acceleration early game that gets you up to Kaleidostorm levels, which does 150 damage, and you can move your fairy energies however way you like on your board. Pretty powerful, especially whenever you have access to that Miracle Magic GX. It's 200 damage, but if you have 3 extra fairy energies attached to your Pokemon, you may shuffle your opponent's hand back into their deck. So it's extremely strong, extremely disruptive GX attack. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I have to talk about. Yeah, it's stupid strong. It's not broken because you have to get 6 energies attached to this thing, which is kind of like a convoluted process, unless you're manually attaching to the bench, which is where the Rimbombi comes into play, which we'll talk about in a second. But you Fairy Song a couple times, deny knockouts with cards like Acerola. Hopefully they're not like a deck that can OHKO you. And then you just Miracle Magic GX, shuffle their hand into their deck, usually while knocking out their engine. You saw me Guzma Salazzle and knock it out against Bucephalon. You could do the same thing against their Orangarus, Abstracas, Jirachis, whatever you need to stop them from being able to top deck out of their situation. Because the best top deck they can get is Cynthia, and by the time it's that late in the game, they've probably already played a couple draw supporters. So Gardevoir Sylveon, extremely powerful attack that can OHKO a lot of stuff. The difference between this deck versus other tag team decks is that there's not really any OHKO potential outside of non-GX matchups. I guess if you play Choice Band, you can hit 180 with Kaleidostorm, but a lot of the 180 tag team Pokemon have phased out outside of Bucephalon, right? So there's not too many Pokemon you could OHKO using this card, which is the downside of this card, but the GX attack is just so powerful that it's worth it because you can just chip away at your opponent. Just like we did with Whimsicott, Cutiefly, Rimbombi. Excuse me, guys. Rimbombi just preventing your opponent from using Guzma on you, which is extremely powerful because you could always safely retreat onto your bench if you're damaged, and you don't have to worry about Guzma plays. You could always set up your benched Gardevoir as high as you want without having to worry about Guzma plays, which is where the Rimbombi really, really shines. 1 Xerneas Prism, non-GX fairy type attacker, pretty strong. Move it to the active, move the energies onto itself. It helps if you're trying to move energies off of a damaged Gardevoir Sylveon, and then you just ace roll the Gardevoir Sylveon while not losing any energies on the board, you know what I'm saying? And 1 Cleffa, because I just really like Cleffa, I'm not gonna lie. At first I was really against the baby abilities, but I mean early game this Cleffa comes in clutch like really nicely, and it has free retreat. If it gets knocked out, who cares? You're a tag team deck anyways. It doesn't actually ruin any of your math for you. So there you go. That's gonna be the Pokemon. Pretty simple. The deck is overall just a simple deck. So you just attack, get a bunch of energies on board, take knockouts, and hopefully you can GX attack during your game. I mean, the whole deck is all about working towards your GX attack. So it's not about if, but more about when. As far as the supporters count go, this deck is actually kind of weird. I took a lot of inspiration from Japanese deck lists because I couldn't figure out how I wanted to build this. There's a lot of cards I want to throw in this deck, but not enough space. So a lot of the supporter count and item count came from inspiration from Japanese deck lists. There's just a bunch of different ones that have been doing well in random tournaments. I think they're equivalent of League Cups. 3 Cynthia. I want to add a 4th one. Right now we got 3. I just like drawing in this deck, which is why I want to play more. 3 Guzma. 3 Acerola, which is the kind of like one of the most important cards in this deck, is spamming that Acerola over and over again, because your thing is not going to get OHKO'd by a lot of different decks. So being able to use Acerola to prevent knockouts while also setting up your board is extremely powerful. 2 Mina. Most of us played 1 Mina. I couldn't fathom why you would only play 1 Mina. 1 Mina is the difference between setting up a GX attack and not, because like, think about it like this. You manually attach the active turn 1, you GX, you attack, put 2 energies on a bench Gardevoir Sylveon. You manually attach for the 3rd one, or I mean, you don't even have to manually attach. You, if you miss a manual attachment, so you attack again, because you're not always gonna land a manual attachment, because you're not always gonna be able to just draw an energy, especially since you're thinning your deck using the Gardevoir Sylveon. So being able to attack again, that puts 5 energies onto your thing, and then you just Mina. Say that you missed a manual attachment, you get 2 onto it using the 1st attack from Gardevoir Sylveon. You attack again, that's 4, and then you manually attach with Mina, that's 6. Mina is actually really, really good. You guys saw how I was able to surprise my opponent with GX attacks a lot that game, and Mina was a big reason why. 1 Diantha. This is one card I could see cutting because it's a 1-up, right? We don't play Lele in this deck. We're trying to avoid playing non-fairy Pokemon so that we can just completely abuse Rimbombi. So the 1-up is kind of meh, you know what I mean? And there's not like incredibly important resources we're getting back with Diantha, but Diantha could sometimes come in clutch, getting you some cards that you've discarded back, sometimes even energies that you will need for manual attachments. So Diantha still comes into play. That's why I like Diantha. And 1 Judge for hand disruption. It's really simple. That's it for the supporter account, guys. But I could see Diantha being cut for 4th Cynthia, and as you're gonna see, I'm not actually playing as many Ultra Balls as I would like personally, so maybe even more Ultra Balls. I am playing 4 Nest Balls, though, and 2 Ultra Balls at least. I could cut Diantha for a 3rd Ultra Ball. Honestly, after playtesting this deck, that might be something I do. Remember that these decks, we don't actually like play super hard. We play like 5-10 games and then we start recording. We make changes as we see fit. But I forgot that I only played 2 Ultra Balls in this deck, so maybe I could put in a 3rd or 4th Ultra Ball, cut the Diantha for a 3rd one, could be pretty nice as well. Just to help you get Rimbombi faster, help you get your Pokemon down faster. I haven't really had an issue getting down 2 Gardevoir Sylveons to start attacking with, but I have had an issue getting down Rimbombi quickly enough for me to feel safe. So that's probably why I would do that. 4 Pokegear. Pokegear is just a strong card. I definitely want to try to get me 4 Secret Rares with this card if I can. We'll have to see what happens, because that card is just so good. And then 3 Switch. I feel like 3 Switch is super important in this deck. Like I said earlier, you're trying to deny your opponent from taking knockouts on you, but you don't want to lose energies on the board. So having access to those Switch cards mean that you can deny knockouts while also, you know, essentially just deny knockouts, right? Because they can't Guzma you because of Rimbombi. So you switch, you keep energies on board, you Kaleidostorm, move all the energies onto yourself, and then you could use cards like Acerola later. But even so, max potions are still pretty good if you need to recover. In case you're playing against decks like Lycanroc, or maybe even like escape rope decks where you don't have really a target to give to your opponent. I still think the max potions are pretty useful. I mean, like I said, this deck's all about healing and moving energies, so you want to be as consistent as possible. 1 energy recycler system. I just found it to be really useful in this deck. Just because, like, if your opponent does get a surprising knockout, you don't need to get down 1,000,000 energies back into your deck. But having the option to put like 3, because at most your opponent's probably only taking 3 prizes at 3 energies out of your deck at a time, and putting them back in your deck could be good for charging up your board again, using Minas and stuff like that. But sometimes you just need that extra manual attachment that you discarded, and you have energy recycle system. So I like the energy recycle system a lot in this deck. I definitely don't feel like I drop it. I know there's an argument to play energy recycler to put 5 energies back in your deck, but you're usually not losing 5 energies. So energy recycle system has been doing more than enough for me. Let's go over tools, stadiums, and energies. 2, my bad. Fairy Charm, the new Ultra Beast one from the most recent set. Not Broken Bonds, but I think, was it Tag Team, Team Up. Preventing damage from Ultra Beast GX and EX Pokemon is really strong. You got Bucephalon, you got Buzzwole if that makes a resurgence for whatever reason, but more importantly, you got Pheromosa Buzzwole. That's a scary deck. So having access to this card is really, really nice in Guardian. Just being able to be all like, hey, you gotta blow me, bro, because you actually can't even hit me is extremely strong. And then I'm playing 1 of these. This is supposed to be the new Fairy Charm Lightning one that's out in this set, but I just didn't want to print it. So honestly, I forgot to print it, if I'm going to be completely real with you. So imagine this being Fairy Charm Lightning. It helps against Zero Aura, Pikarom, things like that. So that's why I'm playing it. One Choice Band helps you hit that 180 number. One Choice Helmet prevents Reshiram Charizard from OHKOing you sometimes. So I like that. 2, Unmanned Power Plant helps you versus Lycanroc, because now Lycanroc can't pull you up. Also prevents your opponent from playing Lele's and stuff like that. So like that card. And then of course, what's a fairy deck without Wonder Labyrinth? Preventing your opponent from attacking all the time is really strong. And then of course, 3, 6, 9 Fairy Energies. 5 Fairy Energies feels kind of low because your GX attack needs 6. But like I said, after you GX attack, you're going to attack with Kaleidostorm, right? And Kaleidostorm moves your energy. So you can just move those energies back into a different Gardevoir Sylveon. That could be really, really, really nice. And because you're playing Rimbombi, you get to choose how many prizes your opponent takes, essentially, as long as they don't out-aggress you. So it's overall just a really cool strategy. I like the deck a lot. I do want to apologize for the past 2 videos. Me clearing my throat so much. I am still getting a little bit under the weather. It's been kind of cold recently. So I do apologize about that. I'm trying my best here, but obviously I don't have a mute button when I'm recording on my phone. So there's that. Hopefully the audio wasn't too bad. If not, I have to like try to figure out how to fix it. But we'll see what happens. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, share, all that good jazz. Answer a couple questions today for a chance to win a couple of codes. Thanks to our sponsors at Guardian Gaming. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with another live matchup. Peace.